Welcome everyone. We're just going to give it another minute or so before we get started. Let's give folks a chance to get signed in. If you could introduce yourself in the chat with your name and organization that you represent, we'd appreciate that. We'll be right back with you shortly. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Good news. I only have the free Zoom, so we're capped at 40 minutes. But honestly, I've planned about 15 or 20 minutes or less. Okay? Just wanted to catch everyone up. So we started with just a handful of folks at the Grayville Senior Center in 2021 with city leaders, Chamber of Commerce folks, economic development teams to learn what types of agricultural programs you would like to see in your communities. And since then, I've had a few virtual meetings for updates, but there really hasn't been too many things happening to report until this year. Even though this meeting is super important, I want to be sure that the stakeholders of this project are invested. I had a last minute meeting with a funder that I've had to take this morning, and so this information was recorded at our corporate office. So these slides have been developed in part from our 2024 annual report, and for this meeting, more details have been added to support the visioning work that this committee has been performing and show projections for the upcoming year. And so again, Ginn Farms Corporation, we're doing business as Greater Wabash Food Council. Today I want to share a few short videos with you to help tell the story and keep things fun. The giant project of using agriculture for economic development is a multi-system, very integral process of a local value chain. Many moving parts have to act in concert to achieve this giant project. At first, the first few steps we took looked at farm to school. We connected with Local Food for Schools, a project through the Illinois Department of Education, and using farmers markets as a launch pad for our outreach in sort of a business incubator way. To accomplish that outreach, we partnered with these funding sources to fund outreach in 2024. And so through the experimental station, we were able to launch a double SNAP benefit at the farmers market. And so connecting local farmers with customers on SNAP EBT could not otherwise work with that customer or get to know that customer. So this is a great program. We had a pilot project just at one location this year in 2024 in Mount Carmel. Great success, and looking forward to launching that in 6 counties in 2025 and really help the farmer get connected with the customers in that way. We also had the opportunity to get funded through the Lake Michigan School Food System Innovation Hub with a farm to school project that saw us purchase a giant commercial size blast chiller that we can flash freeze products at harvest in the fall and use them with the farm to school programming in the winter when the kids are in school, January, February, and March. And so that's been a fun project. We're still working through that. That's going to travel with us till the middle of 2025. We'll wrap that up. And then we also helped about 6 schools drill down a bunch of money from the Department of Ed, Illinois State Board of Education, to help get local food on the trays. And so we orchestrated some transportation and some crop planning and made that happen. And that program's going to continue to expand this year as well.
We talked an awful lot in those first few meetings with the city leaders about economic development and creating jobs. And a lot of the city leaders thought that if these programs were going to stimulate the hiring of several hundred people, or we were going to open a plant and put a whole bunch of people to work there, that would be the kind of economic development that they were looking for. That's not the way that economic development happens with growth through agriculture. And so we wanted to share a few things about what we have learned about the trajectory of job creations from our programming. So in order for me to really think through this conversation, I've created this giant spreadsheet that looks at the projections of when we believe we'll add each layer of programming between now and 2030. And we drilled down potential income that we thought that we would need to seek to make the programming successful, and we've projected all of that out to 2030, and it looks like potentially $4 million in just salaries of qualified technical positions, as well as extra income that will be generated for farmers. Ultimately, we want to have at least 5, maybe 10 programs that we sponsor in this way through this internship. And we hope to be able to also get some funding that gives these folks a startup for insurances or business or permits or whatever in that operation overhead in that first month or so to get going. So that's the deal with internships. Hope that you think that's a fun program, because we're really excited about it. Hi everyone, back again. Let's just run through this really quick. And so the Lake Michigan School Food System Innovation Hub, that's that SPARK grant. We were able to get $71,695 in that grant to sustain that blast chiller program, and a couple salaries and the other parts of the program that we're running there. Local Food for Schools, this isn't really income, but these are funds that are being allocated. We were able to encourage local schools to pull down that money so that we could help get them connected with local farmers. And it's not really on our balance sheet, but for the purposes of explaining how we're paying for what we're doing, it is kind of valuable in this connotation. Experimental Station, that is the funding that we received for the 6 farmers market hubs. And so that is I mean, I think 45 or 50,000 of that is salary for all of those market managers and for my administrative oversight. So super fun. We were able to get an in-kind donation of one of the tower gardens, hooked up Allendale, got them rolling with one. So that's a very exciting thing. And then with the Spark Award, we bought that tower garden, or I'm sorry, the blast chiller. So that is on that equipment side of the assets. So there we go. Oh, 36,000 total salary is what we paid for the year. So that's fun. And we had the opportunity to get reimbursed for bringing some farmers to conferences for them to be able to get connected with resources to continue to grow stronger businesses. And yeah, money we paid directly to farmers, almost $6,000. Whew! So that's a lot going on, right? Well, that's why we were so excited about getting everybody together today to talk about all these new things going on. So those are all the things that we've accomplished since our meetings in 2021, getting us all the way through 2024. Now, what's going to happen in 2025?
So if you remember all the way back to the first meeting in Grayville at that fantastic senior center, they so graciously hosted the kickoff of our project. We had Quint Redmond from Colorado join us somewhat successfully via a Zoom link to talk about this concept of the agrohood. This was the idea of building new homes around a centralized farm that would support the homeowners as part of potentially homeowners association fees. Well, we're finally ramped up enough to kick off this program. So this would involve a central location where there's a food hub that we can process the food, maybe add value-added production to them, season extension, collect and distribute local food from across the region. We would certainly provide educational models about vertical indoor growing. We want to introduce agroforestry, which is where you don't necessarily need to eliminate the forest, but you can grow in tandem with the forest and be mindful about how you're planting the crops so that you don't eliminate, say, all of the windbreak. Also, we would like to utilize solar panels to for the energy of the location, but also to institute agrovoltaics research and application across the region where you're teaching what kind of plants can grow in tandem with the solar panels. So convert your fields to solar, earn that income if that's the best plan for your business. But that doesn't mean you have to stop growing plants. It doesn't mean you have to stop participating in agriculture. There are all sorts of new research emerging that this is a great way to use that footprint in addition to the solar collection, but also to continue to grow food. Why not specialty crops? And then season extension technology shown here in the middle, these trellis things. It's all on robotics and computers and timers, and they really can get about 3 seasons in the Midwest here instead of just one, maybe 1.5 by this new technology. So would love to launch a little bit of that at this location as well to just show new agriculture technologies and become a destination for education for things to come. So this is a legacy project. Anyone pop in mind? Anyone? We have the pre-architecture plans that are completed. We would just need to modify them according to the site and what the team determines. I mean, this is a project that we've outlined, we've kind of formed the edges of. We've identified what we want the site to accomplish, and we've outlined a handful of partners across the state that can support us with some really strong resources. And we've identified funding that I believe will pay for, if not all, most of the initial launch. what we're looking for is a site. And so who do you know that might be a retiring farmer that's looking for the benefit of a tax advantage for a land trust, because that's how this will be set up. This isn't something that we're asking you to give us land so that we can launch a profitable business. This is a project that definitely will go into a land conservation trust so that this land is dedicated to agriculture, and that might really speak to someone in your community, maybe someone you know that's struggling, that the next generation doesn't want to take over the farming business. They don't want to see it sold to whatever, a housing complex or whatever. So maybe there's a piece of land that the city owns that could be put to better use. Maybe this is something that the city would like to sponsor and really become an icon in the region and across the state. We were already talking about this across the state with these leaders that we're going to need to get this done, and they're ready to see what, and excited to see what happens. So who in your community could I get engaged with that we could talk about this and move this project to the next step? Who do you know? We'd love to have you tell people about our programs. When you see us on Facebook, share the post so the folks in your sphere know that these programs are available for them. We need to get connected with growers and producers, makers, ranchers, anyone that is ready to scale up and meet this demand. 5,000 servings a day is a lot. And we're going to need a lot of farmers to work together, coordinated together in staggered, rotations to accomplish some of these goals. So that's the best way we really can ask for your help in that way, is to help us get connected to those folks. And so really that's it. That's all the big exciting news I had to share. I want you to know that we're getting these programs funded, and I want you to know that we need your help getting connected with these folks, and we need to find a piece of land. If you want this opportunity in your backyard and you want that $4 million running through your tax system, let us know. Okay? So I hope you guys think that this is a great way to help prepare our children with new agriculture technologies that use less water, less chemicals, develop more food that has higher nutrient content, food designated from nature the way God intended it. Can we identify a community that wants this project in their zip code, would be willing to help with a community block grant to start the initial infrastructure as we develop the land? That's a big need. That's a big way that you can help, is being that community. And just anyone else that's interested in the concept. I know that we need to talk with your boards. I need to make presentations to your leadership teams. I can do that. I can come and talk with any groups of folks that you're interested in. And I hope that this is something that we have a couple of communities that are interested to get connected with, because there's certainly a lot of work to be done. So thank you very much. Again, I'm Trish Belmore. I'm the Executive Director of Ginn Farms. We are doing business as the Greater Wabash Food Council here in the Illinois region. We're at ginnfarms.org. We're also at gwfoodcouncil.org. Just launched a YouTube page at GW Food Council, and for fun, we're at facebook.com at GW Food Council, and hope to learn more about what's happening in your communities and how we can help with grant writing and fundraising efforts to stimulate more agriculture across the region. Thanks, everyone.